a couple days ago, I was on Twitter when the initial Matthew Stafford and Detroit Lions situation where they're mutually agreeing to part ways broke. And I tweeted something to the caliber of, I swear to God, if I see anybody trying to push the narrative of Matthew Stafford going to the Dallas Cowboys, I'm going to have to start throwing hands. Now, evidently, figuratively speaking, I'm going to have to start throwing hands, especially in this video, because media outlet members, we'll get into that, and people in the peanut gallery of the Cowboys fan base think it's a much better alternative to go after Matthew Stafford rather than paying Rain Dakota Prescott in what you have now. And I think that's hilarious to me. I'm going to go through all that specifics and a couple other things I want to touch on, such as the Jones family and their shenanigans, regarding contract negotiations, and stuff like that. So I don't know how long this video will be, but by all means, you can sit back and relax, enjoy it. If you want to like it, if you want to subscribe, that's up to you. If you don't want to, okay? But let's get into this. So there's this narrative out there that if the Cowboys were to get Matthew Stafford, they would be better positioned to win a championship as opposed to just paying Dak Prescott and rolling with him. What I find funny about all this is through the years I have watched the NFL and just going back and thinking of it, I've never heard anybody talk highly of Matthew Stafford. I always heard of him as being the guy that puts up good stats and is good to be on your fantasy team, rather than the whole, oh, he wins a lot. Yeah, he puts up decent stats, and I'm not saying he's a terrible quarterback, but why do people all of a sudden think he's going to come in here and change everything? Right? Because the last time I checked, this is a guy that has led his team to the playoffs 3 times in 12 seasons and lost all those times. And I get it. Football's a team sport. I'm not trying to sit here and say that's completely his fault, okay? But my thing is how is it that having to give up draft capital as of this juncture, having to pay this man $33 million against the cap and then $26 million in 2022, how is that beneficial as opposed to just re-signing a 28-year-old ascending quarterback to around the same price tag? Because here's another thing. If the Cowboys were to go after Matthew Stafford and by some happenstance the Lions were to cut him, do you really think he's going to take the cheap deal? No, absolutely not. He's going to look for top dollar, especially with the stats he's put up. I'm not saying he's going to ask for $40 million, no. But don't expect him to be like, oh, I'm going to play here for cheap. No, absolutely not. So you're going to have to give up draft capital. You're going to have to pay him anyway. And you're going to have to deal with an older quarterback that will be 33 years old at the start of next season if you choose to acquire him at that point. And now you have a shorter time span to win with him. And also, there's no guarantee that he's going to do well in your system. At that point, you might as well draft a quarterback, and that's not even a guarantee. I've heard people that want to draft a quarterback as opposed to, sticking with Dak. It's like you have the known commodity versus the mystery box. Why would you want to go with the mystery box? You think that you can... when you're at 10, right, you're going to have 3 quarterbacks, possibly 4, that are already off the board. You might have possibly, Kyle Trask or Trey Lance there. Mac Jones, I think because he's in the Senior Bowl, his stock's going to go up and someone's going to trade up for him. So who the hell are you going to get to, replace the production you have now in Dak Prescott? And then I've heard the narrative, oh, you just draft a quarterback with the first round pick you have or whatever, and you try to develop him behind Dak Prescott and let Dak go. Why the hell would you do that? Because now you're going to just put Dak Prescott in a bind to where, why the hell would I want to bother doing this? Oh, because then if he doesn't do that, he won't make his money. That's, no. This team needs so much more than that. And we don't need a quarterback. I think it's hysterical that this is the 5 millionth time I've had to discuss this, because ultimately there are going to be people out there, I can't get to. Like, people are going to, I guarantee you, someone's going to comment on this video and they're going to be like, Space Cowboy doesn't know what he's talking about. We need to go get a quarterback because Dak Prescott sucks. Okay, if you think you can find someone that's better than Dak Prescott, by all means, enamor me. Put it down in the comment section below, because last time I checked, the only possible quarterback that you might be able to acquire, given the amount of crap you would have to give up for him, is Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is the closest quarterback that's on the market that you can go after. And you would have to give up a bevy of draft picks, so now it's like, what the hell are you even doing? The quarterback position you have to pay a premium for. And besides, Deshaun Watson already has his payday. So I just think it's unbelievable to me how there are people that think, oh, we should go after this guy. Like Deshaun Watson, that situation. The people that want to trade for Deshaun Watson, you mean to tell me, sure, you're getting a guy that's young and ascending as a quarterback, but he's getting paid, on average, $39 million a year. I think he deserves it, don't get me wrong, but why don't you just pay Dak Prescott at that point if you are that concerned about the quarterback situation? And I get it. People want a top 5, top elite quarterback to lead their team. I get it. But my thing is that last time I checked, Dak Prescott's been fantastic since the Cowboys have properly put things around him. Oh, well, Deshaun Watson, he hasn't done, he's got less and he's done more. I don't want to hear that crap, because ultimately, I can sit here and be like, well, Deshaun Watson went 4-12, so why the hell are we even having this conversation? I'm not going to entertain that, because you need to build something around this team, and giving up draft picks to go get Deshaun Watson would be a dumbass decision, and same thing with going after Matthew Stafford. It would be a hell of a stupid decision. Okay? I can go on and on and on, but the point I'm trying to get at is you are better suited to give Dak Prescott his $37.5 or $36 million a year that he's looking for. I just don't understand the mindset of these people that can sit there and seriously say, I would rather acquire a different quarterback that's older and not as good as Dak Prescott because I don't want to pay him and I want to save money on the cap. Let me ask you this. When in the hell have the Cowboys spent a ton of money on a high-priced free agent to come in here and fix this team? Don't give me the whole, well, they re-signed some players. No, don't give me that. Because the Cowboys do that crap. And you know what's funny about that? You have Jerry Jones and his dumbass son in Stephen Jones that want to push this dumbass narrative of, oh, we got to get everything under the cap. What the hell are you doing with the cap? You gave your money to a running back at this juncture that is averaging 3.3 yards a carry, and he's not looking good, okay? In fact, the backup is looking better than him. And then you have a freaking linebacker that can't freaking cover, and you're paying him top-level money too. And then you're paying a defensive end who has been really good against stopping the run, but he hasn't given you sacks. And I understand each of those positions have those own situations. But the point I'm trying to get at is that, you know what's funny? When they had to go get those players their money, right? Zeke wanted his money. You can argue he should have gotten his money or not. You know what he had to do to get his money? He had to hold out. Tank, he had to hold out by not getting surgery, right? And this isn't just stuff that happened now. I want you guys to go back. There have been many instances where the Jones, I think DeMarcus Ware was an instance, if I recall. Sean Lee had a situation like this. I think Anthony Spencer and someone else, I can't remember off the top of my head, unfortunately. But this is something the Dallas Cowboys front office has done. If you don't kiss their ass and take the offer they give you, they're going to be like, well, you know what? We don't want to give you your money. And they go through the media to try and push people to hate on the player for trying to get their due compensation, right? And what I think is interesting is, and I respect Dak for being a good guy in this entire situation, right? I get the whole thing of he's just trying to, I get it, right? But to me, there's going to be a point to where, Dak is going to possibly end up getting irritated with this. I don't know. what his plans are going to be. I'm not going to speak on his behalf. All I'm going to say is that the last thing you want to do is get Dak Prescott pissed off to the point to where he's holding out. I don't think he would do that, but the fact is that, and people want to be like, oh, well, why don't you just trade him? You can't trade him if he doesn't sign the tag, you nimrods. I don't understand why people think, oh, we could just trade him once we tag him. Yeah, you gotta be a fucking idiot. Excuse my language, but I have to say it, and I have to be honest here. You gotta be an idiot if you really don't know how that works. Because, if that was the case, wouldn't the Cowboys have traded him? Or, oh no, they won't, because they claim that he's their guy, right? They always say this crap, like, oh, we want him back. He's an integral part to the team. All that mumbo jumbo. And then when it comes time to pay up, they want to freaking penny pinch. And they want to say this nonsense of, oh, we got to be under the cap. Everyone has to get their own slice of the pie. Here's my thing. That would make sense, and I would agree with that if they were aggressive in free agency. Now, I'm not saying go out and buy every freaking... I'm not saying go after every high-priced free agent, right? What I'm saying is go after guys that, $8 to $10 million that you can spend on your defense. Like, oh, Dalvin Tomlinson, Justin Simmons, Marcus May. I can go on. But you know what's going to happen? This is exactly what's going to happen. Dak Prescott's going to get franchise tagged again because the Joneses are going to bitch and complain that they don't have the money for it in the cap when they can restructure people. And they gave the money to some people that I don't think deserved it yet. I was like, Zeke should get his money. I'm all for power to the players, right? And them getting their money. But then when I see you not filling that contract, that's when I have a problem, right? So, for example, right, I felt, look, remember when Dez got his contract, how long that frickin' took so he can get his long-term deal? They had the same thing with DeMarco Murray, the same thing with, the same thing with DeMarcus Lawrence and such, where you don't get your money unless you hold out. Unless he calls a ruckus. DeMarcus Lawrence, he was cool with paying, getting paid off that franchise tag the first time. He's like, you know what? Fine. He has another good season. I want my money. And now the Joneses want to franchise tag him again because they don't want to pay him his money. You know what he had to do? He had to hold out getting surgery. Now, as much as I would get irritated at that, you got to understand something. The Joneses have, brainwashed a good chunk of the fan base to be like, the cap, we got to save money. But you can't say that and you don't spend money. If the Dallas Cowboys, which I predict are going to go to frickin' Dollar General and go get those, tier 4 free agents, which are your bargain basement crap that we've been doing for, the past decade. No wonder why, they want to talk about, oh, we want to draft our own and we'll pay them there. That's fine too, but here's my problem. Specifically last year, your quarterback, almost hit free agency, and you tagged him at the last minute because you didn't have a deal for him, even though you had the money to do it. You let your cornerback 1 hit the market, and I know I was saying, oh, you should let him go. At this point, I was wrong there. I was wrong there, mate. You should have paid Byron Jones. Okay? Given from what we've seen. And then you lit Amari Cooper. Not only did he hit the free agency market, he had an offer from another team that would pay him, I think, $25 million a year. And you are lucky that man is loyal to your team, because he could have easily gone to Washington and you would have easily screwed yourself over. And you want to talk about drafting and you want to go talk about we got to resign our players. They don't do that crap. They don't. It's their way or the highway. And I know that some of you guys will be like, well, Space Cowboy, you're being completely unrealistic, or you're so upset in this video. I'm upset because I love this team and I know what I see is a lot of BS going on, and I know for a damn well fact it's going to happen again. Watch. And I understand that negotiations are a pain in the ass. I'm not going to fret on that. No, I completely understand that. Why do you think I think Dak Prescott asked for his agent asked for $40 million. You know why they do that? Because they know the Joneses, like, I think, what was it? Like, before this season, the Joneses wanted to give Dak Prescott, they were like, oh, here's $30 million a year. Take it or leave it. And I don't want to hear this crap of, oh, well, the Cowboys at the last minute gave Dak Prescott an offer and he turned it down. You know what's funny? We only heard that after the deadline passed, right? That's what I think is funny about this entire situation, is that, you know, people would be like, well, Dak Prescott asked for, you know, he was going to get the money he wanted. They offered him 5 years, $35 million a year. How do you know that? You know, like, for all we know, that could be something that the Joneses said to just plant. And I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist here. I'm just saying, over the past couple of years, and I haven't said it on this channel because I needed a track record. And it's happening again with Dak Prescott. You know, I forget the name of the person in particular, but I've heard his name mentioned, and I'm sorry I don't have his name off the top of my head. But reporter for the Dallas Cowboys, every single time it's something with a free agent. You know, if you pay attention, the Joneses, they read the headlines and crap, so they know to go to their writers and they'll say something to them, and then they'll write a opinion piece on, oh, this is why this player shouldn't get re-signed, or this player should take a cheaper deal, yada yada yada. It happens. I'm not freaking crazy. But look, I know that we don't want Dak to like, I get the concern, but here's my problem, and I said this on Twitter too. I could understand the complaint of Dak taking up the entire cap, and oh, you won't be able to sign anybody because you're giving Dak all that money. Then who the hell the Cowboys signed? Think about it. You know, I understand that, you know, it's funny because even people were like, well, you know, you had those 4 years to build around him. What in the hell did the Cowboys do in those 4 years? If you go back and look at those 4 years, there has not been a single quality free agent that stayed on the team longer than 3-4 years. I'm being dead ass. Like, you know, I don't count like a Joe Tom. No, I'm talking about a quality free agent that's been an impact player for you. We've not had that crap. You know, you could have gone out and, you know, last year you had Chris Harris Jr. available. He had an all right season. You know, you had guys. All I'm asking for is someone to come in and be a solid starter to impact player, right? And, you know, you can't foresee injuries. You know, Gerald McCoy, I don't know how he would have looked in this defense. I absolutely don't know. He's probably going to be back this year on a cheaper deal. But stop the bargain basement crap. It's got to stop. And until the Cowboys... Listen, if the Cowboys by some freaking miracle bring in, like, I don't know, a safety, like, I don't know, like Justin Simmons or someone of that caliber, doesn't have to be specifically him, but someone to be a solid starter, so then it's not like, okay, here we are at the draft and we need to literally get every single freaking position filled because I don't trust any of those free agents. That's a problem. You know, I don't think the team's going anywhere, and, you know, I might think the Cowboys will make the playoffs next year not by default. Let me just be clear. I honestly don't know what's going to happen with the Dallas Cowboys in 2021 because, you know, you haven't figured out if you want to pay your quarterback. Make up your freaking mind. If you don't want him, then let him go. Stop this whole holding him hostage crap because he doesn't agree, or his agent and his, you know, or his team doesn't agree to the negotiation, you know, the offers you're giving him. You know, and you can call me a Dak homer, this, that, and the third. I really don't care because I'm not saying this in a sense to defend Dak Prescott. I'm saying this because it's best for the frickin' team. If you inherently think that going out and spending draft capital, or hell, having to spend top dollar on a quarterback other than Dak Prescott is the best way to get this team to a championship, I think that you might have a problem. Seriously. And not only that, if you are so worried about the salary cap, name me one good free agent that the Dallas Cowboys needed to use a ton of a ton of cap space to acquire. Oh, Randall Cobb? What did Randall Cobb do? Oh, drop a bunch of balls. I know he had a decent season for a third string wide receiver. But still, okay? But, you know, you don't have someone that's here long term to help you build something. So then I'm like, okay, if you go get a Dalvin Tomlinson and you spend your money there, then by all means, you know, you can not have to worry about that interior defensive line. You can go get, you know, whatever. Like, if you know, a lot of people are like, you should go get Kyle Pitts. If you want to go get Kyle Pitts, go build up this defense. Put some guys on that defense. And I will listen. If you can go get a safety for God's sake, and you can go get Dalvin Tomlinson or whoever the hell, I might change my mind. I really might. But you know what? I haven't seen the Cowboys do a maneuver like that. So I don't want to hear the crap of, they're not. Look, I've gone on for 20 plus minutes now. And I know not a lot of people are going to like what I had to say, but let me just conclude it with this, right? If Dak Prescott is not your guy, you know, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, they're not going to listen to this crap, but I'm going to say this to conclude once again. If you don't feel that Dak Prescott is your guy, let him go. Stop holding on to him. You can say all this stuff about him being the quarterback. You can say all this nonsense about how you want him to be the guy, he's the future. All that crap. If he's really your guy, pay him. You had plenty of times to give him a contract that you might have felt more comfortable with. And now you're at a point where you're going to have Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills. He's looking to renegotiate his contract. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. So the price is going to keep going up until you sign him. If you want him, give him his contract and let's go. We have a team to build around him to go win some championships. If you don't want to sign him, by all means, I'm still going to be a fan of the team. Okay? I'm not going to be upset if Dak Prescott were to... I mean, I'd be upset because of how the Joneses have run the organization, but that doesn't mean I'd give up my fandom. You know? So, look, pay him if you think he's your guy. If you don't think he's your guy, let him walk. Let's go trade up and go get the best quarterback prospect that you can possibly get, other than possibly Zach Wilson and, Trevor Lawrence. That's when you know I've been going on for too long that I start saying names. Then go get your guy. Okay? If you don't feel comfortable with paying him that much money. Oh, and what's funny, if you do buy let's say hypothetically the Cowboys draft Mac Jones, and he happens to be a fantastic prospect. Oh, so now you're going to have to pay him. So what now? You're going to have to pay him top dollar years down the line. And I guarantee you this, if the Cowboys were to draft a rookie quarterback, they're nowhere near a championship in 4 or 5 years. And I say that as a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan that's watched this team long enough. Listen, I'm 22 years old. I've seen this team long enough in my lifetime to know that I don't give a damn what happened in the 90s and the 70s and the 80s. Sure, great, legacy and stuff like that. How the hell does that apply now? Jerry, I get it. You're an old geriatric old man. No, geriatric. I get it. You're an old man that wants his glory hole. And Stephen Jones, you're all about saving that cap and stuff like that. If you cannot decide on whether you don't want your guy at quarterback or not, you got a problem. We've been going on 25 years now without even winning a divisional round playoff game. Okay? You've appeared in the playoffs 8 times since, 1996 or 2000, right? And you have only won 3 freaking wild card games. I know that this is turning into something else, but I really don't care. I need to get this off my chest. Get it done. Or don't get it done. Figure out what the hell you want to do. And that's all I gotta say. If you enjoyed it, you can give it a like. If you don't like it, I don't care. You can dislike. I don't care. If you want to subscribe and you like what you heard, you can subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe or unsubscribe, by all means, that button is there for a reason. Okay. I think what I've had to say, and I got it out there, and I've gone for long enough. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bye-bye.